Well, I was there, so I remember it quite well. It was a most exciting race to watch. The two pacemakers for Bustino went off at a probably 5 furlong pace and then a mile in pace, and it was an amazing duel to watch. And it wasn't really until the last 100 yards that you knew that Grundy was going to get out on top. And it was a truly run race, and it's one of those races that is etched forever in your memory.
Can you sum up the atmosphere that day, please?
It was very exciting. It was, you know, the stands were erupted in the last furlong, and you actually, they're two very brave horses, and you actually didn't want one to lose because it was such an exciting race, and both horses battle away so bravely.
And did it make a mark on you as a young man?
Definitely, yeah. It's one of those races you never forget.
Final 2 furlongs. It's just Whip It Quick from Bold Pirate, with Greenbelt finishing fast on the outside. Anne's Pretender is coming strongly. Grundy, the favourite, is beginning a fast-looking run too, and on the extreme outside his high season was last early on, below the distance, and it's Whip It Quick from Bold Pirate and Grundy. Grundy, the favourite, now strikes the front and is going the better of the 3 leaders, coming up towards the final 150 yards, and it's Grundy, the favourite, who's going to maintain his unbeaten record, I'm sure. Whip It Quick is fighting back, but at the line is Grundy, the winner of the... You, John Penny.
Yes, and Barefeet being tracked then by Stamen, then comes Grundy on the outside, top level, quite in close proximity to the leader, so to is Steelheart, right against the Elders border, and so they come now past the bushes, and it's still Barefeet, but now Pat Eddery beginning to work now on Grundy. Then comes Steelheart being pulled to the outside to make a run, top level, and border right in touch, but they come now past the 2 furlong from home mark, and it's Grundy from Steelheart on the far side, border on the near side, and it's Grundy, and Pat Eddery now picks up the whip, but he's running on well, and it's Grundy in the lead from Steelheart on the far side, border, then comes top level, and running now towards the last furlong, it's Grundy from Steelheart. That's the 1-2. They're chased down by Border, and they've got about 150 yards to go, and this Grundy really confirm his superiority. They come up towards the line. Grundy's going to win this one very easily from Steelheart. Then comes Border, followed in by Top Level, and then comes Stamen, Barefeet, Piccolino, and finally Big Venture.
As they come to the 2 furlong marker, Snow Knight and Brown Taylor in the lead. From in second place, Jeff Lewis, Imperial Prince, then comes Giacometti, and then Bustino, and then comes Nono Alco. They're racing to the final furlong, and it's Snow Knight and Brown Taylor from Imperial Prince, Jeff Lewis, then comes Giacometti. It's Snow Knight now from Imperial Prince and Giacometti, and Bustino finishing fast, and as they race into the final 25 yards, it's Snow Knight from Imperial Prince and Giacometti, and at the line Snow Knight wins the derby. Second is Imperial Prince, third Giacometti, for Bustino, and 5 Northern Taste, then Misty Green and Nono Alco and Radical, and behind them came Regular Guy, and then Sinwise Sin and Court Down, and behind them Arthurian and Charlie Bubbles. Behind Charlie Bubbles is Live Arrow and Great Thunder and Barbary Corsair and Hope of Holland, and last is Grand Orient. And so the result of the 1974 Derby is first number 19, Snow Knight, owned by Mrs. Neil F. Phillips, trained by Major Peter Nelson, and ridden by Brown Taylor. Second is number 11, Imperial Prince, owned by Colonel F.R. Hugh Williams, trained by Noel Merlis, and ridden by Jeff Lewis. And third, number 7, Giacometti, owned by Mr. Charles and George, trained by Ryan Price, and ridden by...
companion and pacemaker Rebo's son, and it's Bustino now who bursts into the lead. Joe Mercer getting first run on the rest, but watch Lester Pickett now coming in third on Giacometti. 2 furlongs, a little more to go, and it's Bustino now being pressed by Giacometti. It's these 2, Imperial Prince's fourth at the moment, coming to the last furlong and a half, and it's Bustino from Giacometti. These 2 from Rebo's son in third, Imperial Prince's fourth, and he's not going to win. Coming to the last furlong, and it's between Bustino and Giacometti. At the moment, it's Bustino all the way, but Giacometti getting closer, well inside the final half furlong, and the favourite's going to win it all right. It's a bloodless victory for him in the end. It's Bustino by 3 or 4 lengths more, in fact, and at the line, Bustino wins the St. Ledger. Giacometti is second. Rebo's son did his job awfully well as pacemaker.
And they're on their way, and
the 1975 Derby appeared to be between just 2 runners, Alec Head's French 2,000 guineas and Prix Lupin winner Green Dancer, who was made the short price favourite, and from Peter Baldwin's stable, the Irish 2,000 guineas winner Grundy. Or could the Maurice Zilber train fill in a biliary, upset the pair?
And so just over a mile still to run. and as little as choose. We come now into Tattenham Corner, and it's Tony Murray on Anne's Pretender still in the lead from Nuthatch on the outside. Then comes Red Region on the inside, Nobility just in behind them, but they have 2.5 furlongs still to go, and it's Anne's Pretender in the lead. Here comes Grundy going up into second place, and working very hard on the outside is Green Dancer, but they have 2 furlongs still to go, and it's Anne's Pretender in the lead from Grundy, and then comes Nobility, Whippet Trick, Green Dancer, and Royal Manacle, and so that's a leading half a dozen, but it's Grundy who's now burst forth into the lead, and they pass the furlong from home marker, and it's Grundy for England in the lead, Nobility for France in second, Anne's Pretender in third, as they come up towards the line. Grundy, the hope of England, coming over the line. It's the winner of the Derby from Nobility, running on to third place, Hunter Dancer in front of Whippet Quick and Pretender. Then comes Green Dancer followed in by Royal Manacle, Dominion, Fidian. Then comes Nuthatch, Romper, Red Region.
The winning distance of 3 lengths was the longest for 12 years, and the time the 3rd fastest since the war, after Nijinsky and Snow.
They turned out with just about 2.5 furlongs to go. Anne's Pretender has taken it up, and it's Anne's Pretender with on the near side Irish Star. King Pellinor is just behind them. Grundy is coming on the extreme right now, and as they have about 1.5 furlongs to go, Grundy coming on the outside, and as they hit the last 1.25 furlongs, it's Grundy out in front, and Grundy coming on, and Grundy coming away, and as they race down inside the final furlong, there he goes, Grundy, and the King is chasing Grundy, but the King is in front. The King of the day is Grundy. In second place is King Pellinor. In third comes Anne's Pretender. Then comes Sea Anchor.
They're now head for home in the Coronation Cup, just over 3 furlongs to run, and Rebo's Son now being joined by Bustino. Ashmore in close proximity on the outside, but it's Bustino for England now goes into lead with 2.5 furlongs to go. From the French train, Ashmore in second place, Contest Loire under pressure on the outer, then comes Millsbond. Rebo's Son now dropping away into 5th place, but they have 1.5 furlongs to go, and the 2 leaders under pressure. It's Bustino just in the advantage as they come now towards the final furlong. It's Bustino and Ashmore, these two fighting it out, but Joe Merce from Bustino has the edge on Ashmore on the near side and leaves some mountain. They have 100 yards to go, and it's Bustino for England going to win the Coronation Cup. Ashmore will be second.
So Peter O'Sullivan can now reflect on the enormity of the event and has the race card from the day, a race card bearing many secrets. So Peter, talk us through this incredible race card. First of all, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of bets everywhere. Let's start off in the top right-hand corner. We've got 120 each way Bustino to win 1,000, and 1 or 2 others.
Yes, and it looks as though I went a bit mad, actually. But I mean, this is quite unnecessary information, but it was just, I used to, having written everything possible on the race card, I suppose I put in a little bit of personal involvement, and here I've rather overdone it. I seem to have backed pretty well everything. I mean, I'm amazed looking this up the other day to see that I'd even have 30 quid with Lloyd's at 220 to 1 against a dead heat.
Just at the top here, Lloyd's £30 at 220 to 1 against a dead heat. Were you anticipating it? Was the build-up for this race so big that Grundy and Bustino couldn't be split, I suppose?
Well, I just thought, maybe they'd just come to the line and be inseparable. I thought I'd catered for practically every other eventuality, except that I'm rather nonplussed to see on the card that I hadn't, although I napped Grundy in the Express, there was no
the only one without a mention.
Having had a halfpenny on it. I backed everything else. I backed On My Way each way, Dahlia each way, I backed Ashmore each way, I backed Star Appeal each way. And quite interesting, and laid a bit back too. Yeah. Laid 75 quid each way Bustino and laid 40 quid each way Dahlia.
Well, this is a 1975 Betfair account, isn't it?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you, really? But you see, there's nothing new about hedging, about laying a bit back, about limiting your liability. But it's quite interesting.
And when you see the names of these horses, I mean, these are absolute superstars, Star Appeal and Dahlia, as we've said, and they were good horses beaten out of sight by Grundy and Bustino.
Absolutely, you make a very good point, because there you have horses that were respectively beaten 7 lengths and 20 lengths by Grundy, and that's Star Appeal and On My Way, and they were first and second in the Arc de Triomphe later in the year. Amazing.
So in some ways, because of the result, it's built up as a match race and the race of the century because of the battle between these two horses. But that, in a way, slightly takes away from the fact this was a corking field.
It was, but it also, it justifies the fact that it was built up as a race of the century, as it were.
And on your race card, you've got all the jockeys' names, you've got information about, you know, I know on other cards, sort of what the jockeys have done in the race in the past. I mean, that's why, of course, you know, Pat, I think, riding first time in this race straight away. What a way to start. I suppose the other thing we should point out, of course, is this race wasn't run at a crawl with all those pacemakers, an unbelievable finishing time.
A record that still stands.
I feel very proud to be associated with that particular race because it was the race of the century.
It's Bustino and Grundy together.
I knew we were on the verge of greatness. It was the King George race that brought out the greatness in him.
He looks magnificent.
It was the most exciting race. Everything happened as it very seldom does in a horse race that was foreseeable.
Grundy, the Derby winner, the Irish Derby winner, and today seeking to become the highest stake earner ever trained in this country. And here, perhaps the outstanding 4-year-old in training, Bustino. He's really got depth. He's become a really powerful individual.
We weren't certain to win at all. We knew Bustino was our big obstacle to winning.
One of the best horses I've ever ridden, but a lovely character. Great character, and a good-looking horse too. He'd always be tanking with you on the bridle. He was just a pleasure to sit on, pleasure to ride out on Tuesday morning.
And they're away. And Bustino himself is one of the first to show, from Grundy on the outside.
Dick Hahn had 3 in the race, pacemakers, to make the race fast-paced, in case Grundy didn't quite stay.
But Frankie Dare rode highest, I think it was, and Eric Eldon rode Kinglet, who went off for the clappers of hell. I mean, he really did tank on the first 4.
It's Kinglet who's going on. Kinglet from highest.
Then Kinglet went on. He led me roughly to about 4 out, but couldn't go any further, so I had to take it up. And I'm thinking, no, have I gone too soon? Well, I can't really think about it. I've got to go. And he just galloped this horse into the straight. Nothing's there, nothing's there. Then a furlong and a half out, I could hear Pat Edry hard at work. I thought, I'm still going to hold him, still going to hold him.
Bustino on the far side, Grundy on the near side, the 3-year-old and the 4-year-old. They race into the final 150 yards. And it's Grundy going on from Bustino and Delia and on my way. Bustino's finding his way back, but Grundy's holding him as they come to the line. Grundy wins it. Bustino's second, Delia's third.
And my horse changed his legs, tongue went out, and I was beat.
Walked down in a daze really after the race. The crowd in the stands were absolutely shaking with disbelief, really, how fast they'd gone.
I thought I'd win, full stop. You know, I was so confident when I went out because he was such a good horse. It just happens that that's what happens. You get me emotional now.
Dick Hahn, who was a great friend, shook me by the hand, saying, well done.
2 great horses. They've got to be. And the courage of Bustino fighting back. This must be one of the fastest races ever run over 1.5 miles in this country.
They give everything, every ounce they got. You know, they battled it out, and the best horse won on the day.
That is the job of a trainer, to make a horse into the best he possibly can. We were very proud of him, really. He was a very good horse.
Destined for Mrs. Peter Walden on Corby. And now Pat Edry, who receives the gold money clip from the Queen Mother. The gold money clip incorporating the 5 colours of the enamelling, which represents the photoelectric cell at the finishing post. And so the trophies for the 1975 King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes are presented.
During the past 22 years he was at Wolverton, he was looked after by the same man throughout, Clive Godfrey, with whom he shared a quite remarkable bond. They knew each other's ways inside out, Willie, with great friendship.
I feel that's the first thing when I saw the horse had died. I felt sorry for Clive, because you can see, look at them playing there. Now that horse, he's 26 years of age, and ever since he went into the stud, He's been looked after by this, so they know one another. And he grabs a hold of his arm, and he just grabs a hold of him enough, and he just gives him a tap on his shoulder just to say, hey, that's enough, lad, and he would let go. They have great fun together in that paddock, and I really nearly sort of brought tears to my eyes that day we went down there to see that. I really enjoyed seeing that old fella, and I never rode him, but seeing that old boy going around his paddock, look at him there. And then he's giving us a smile here. He'll give us a smile in a minute.
He still had 14 mares this year and got them all in foal.
And I believe last year he got a mare in foal that somebody else couldn't get in foal, yeah. So he could still do the business at 26.
A classic winner and champion of his generation at 3 and 4 years, Bustino numbers the Coronation Cup and St. Leger amongst his 5 group victories. Sire of such notable performance as European champion Height of Fashion, Easter Sun, Bastomi, Alma Ata, Dish Dash and Kitty Hawk, Bustino has been represented by 3 group winners in 1984. They include the Group 1 winner Stafida, Bedtime, and the courageous Barushka, seen here winning the Group 3 Park Hill Stakes at Doncaster.
It's Barushka from Glowing with Pride, then Bustling Nellie's job has been done, she's fading, just over 2 to go. Barushka in the lead from Glowing with Pride, then Allegedly Blue finishing fast on the outside of Bonny Hill. Behind these comes Out of Shot trying to pick up ground, but with a lot to do. But over a furlong to go, it's a battle between Barushka and Glowing with Pride, and it's a battle that Barushka is winning at the moment. A furlong to go, she's staying on very gamely indeed. Leicester switching to try and get a run on the inside, but Barushka has the ball. Barushka by 2 lengths from Glowing with Pride. Allegedly Blue's going to finish 3rd, coming up towards the line. Barushka outstayed her rivals, the winner.
The best son of European champion Busted, Bustino, who stands at Wolverton Stud, has achieved a remarkable 90% fertility over his first 9 seasons at Stud.
I was there, so I remember it quite well. It was a most exciting race to watch. The 2 pacemakers for Bustino went off at a probably 5 furlong pace and then a mile in pace, and it was an amazing duel to watch. And it wasn't really until the last 100 yards that you knew that Grundy was going to get out on top. And it was a truly run race, and it's one of those races that is etched forever in your memory.
Can you sum up the atmosphere that day, please?
It was very exciting. It was, you know, the stands were erupted in the last furlong, and you actually, they're 2 very brave horses, and you actually didn't want one to lose because it was such an exciting race, and both horses battle away so bravely.
And did it make a mark on you as a young man?
Definitely, yeah. It's one of those races you never forget.